Today's topic is from SakshiGeetam or SakshiGeetam, verse 8 and 9. The tendencies of purity, passion, and impurity disappear. The states of waking, dreaming, and sleep disappear. The Sakshi is even beyond the void in the fourth state of awareness. This is the 8th and 9th verses of SakshiGeetam. The tendencies of purity, passion, and impurity disappear. The states of waking, dreaming, and sleep disappear for the Sakshi. Purity, passion, and impurity, or sattva, rajas, and tamas, are not realities. They are your tendencies only, individual tendencies. They are not inscribed in stone. They change as you change. They differ for everyone. They rely on your mindset, on your brought up, on your culture, on your surrounding, on your situation, and on your vested interest. Whatever changes is subject to disappearance. It disappears because it is only illusion. It is projected. It is not real. It is only simulation. This entire existence you perceive is nothing but the simulation projected by the consciousness. But due to our tendencies, it seems real. Purity or sattva is light and impurity or tamas is darkness. Passion or rajas can lead you to either one. Most of the time you will be swinging between purity and impurity, ending up staying in the middle. And that is why this world is not full of impure people or full of pure people. People swing from purity to impurity and vice versa. When you are awakened as the Sakshi, the pendulum disappears. The clock stops ticking. Now whatever the Sakshi does is not painted with purity or impurity. The Sakshi now does not have any passion for any activities. There remains no one and nothing for the Sakshi to compare with. There is no comparison as there is no duality. Purity only exists because of impurity, and without purity, you will not be able to label something as impure. Comparison only starts when there is more than one. For the Sakshi, there is only one, that is without second. When you are in the waking, dream, or deep sleep, you experience the time. What you see when you are awake, you consider, is as the present. In your dream state, you experience whatever you have experienced before, but in broken sequence and clouded past. When you are in the deep sleep, you are unaware about everything, just like the future. Future never tells you what is going to happen. Future can only be encountered as the present. So you remain in the time during these three states of waking, dream, and deep sleep. But the Sakshi, all these three states and tendencies, they disappear. Sakshi goes beyond these three tendencies and three states. And not only that, the next verse it says, the Sakshi is even beyond the void and the fourth state of awareness. Waking, dream, and deep sleep. These three states disappear when one is awakened as the Sakshi. Because for the Sakshi, there is the fourth state of awareness. The fourth state is called Turiya. Turiya itself means the four. This state, or the fourth state, is also known as Brahma. Brahma means expanded. One that is expanded. Brahma comes from the Sanskrit root, Brihan. Brihan means to expand. The noun Brahma simply means the expanded one. You are all this that is expanded. The present, past, and the future are confined, limited. The past ends where and when the present starts, and the present ends where and where you come out from the present and dive into the past or imagine about the future. But when you go beyond the time, there remains no dividing line. When you are in the fourth state of awareness, these three states that divide your existence disappear as you go beyond the time and space. The Sakshi remains in the awareness of the self as the consciousness, without diving into and coming out of these three confined states. But this is also not the absolute. The absolute is beyond the consciousness. The absolute has no attributes. The absolute is not definable. The term Sakshi will also be dismissed when you exist as the absolute. At that stage, the fourth state, or the void, or the state of awareness, or the consciousness, or the state of Brahma disappears. Up to the state of awareness, the fourth state, the consciousness, everything is definable, has attributes. The absolute is absolute, without any attributes, without any definition, and that is you. So when someone experiences the self, the real self, the absolute, even the term Sakshi vanishes. This was from the SakshiGeetam verse 8 and 9. Now you can unmute yourself and you can share your wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vijayji, for shedding this light. It's really wonderful to know these verses, and it's very deep to understand. And we will get there. Thank you so much. It's processing. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vijayji. As always, it's very profound and deep, like Madhu Garu said. And yeah, I've heard of these states before too, and Turiya state was difficult kind of to understand. Awake, dream, and you explained it that actually, as I understood, Turiya is a state like when the Sakshi is there, right, observing, and that is Turiya. And now you talked about beyond absolute, and I might have heard, but now it makes sense. Like beyond, it is deep, and I guess once when one recognizes the self as absolute, and that's the state. Thank you for sharing all this. Thank you very much.
The fourth state is the awareness or the Sakshi or the consciousness.
Turiya.
Or the Turiya, the same thing.
Yeah.
Turiya or Brahma or the fourth state or the awareness or the consciousness.
So the
Sakshi.
Expanded consciousness, right? That's what you're saying. Brahma, you said, is expanded consciousness. Is that right?
Brahma is expanded. Yes, Brahma is consciousness.
Uh-huh.
And when the one is awakened as the Sakshi, that person or that entity is the Brahma or the consciousness itself. But consciousness or being a Sakshi is not the end of the experience. The entire existence is nothing but the absolute or the Param Purna, you can say. Or somebody would say, who believes in devotion, they would say God.
Yes.
And that cannot be defined. The ultimate or the absolute or God is indefinable. It's beyond mind and speech. As Upanishad says that your mind and senses and speech, they return without reaching the ultimate, because it is beyond mind and beyond imagination and beyond words and beyond speech and beyond senses. Up to consciousness, you can define something, you can attribute something towards the consciousness, you can understand about consciousness. But beyond that, one is not able to define the absolute or God as such. And that can only be experienced in silence. Even in the state of Sakshi as observer, we observe something.
Mm-hmm.
We do not participate. That's the first thing. But still, you see the duality.
Yeah.
Because when we say that I feel something, or when you say I know about consciousness, or I experience consciousness, it simply means that there is duality.
Yeah.
I experience the consciousness. I know about the consciousness. I feel the consciousness. There's duality. And the absolute or the ultimate or God is non-dual, is without second. And that is why it is beyond the consciousness. And Gita also, Krishna also mentioned that in Bhagavad Gita. If someone knows the verses of Bhagavad Gita, it says that I have, or God, Krishna himself was considering himself as a God. So his para and apara are my prakritis or nature. So para and apara simply means conscious and non-conscious. They both are my nature or prakriti or power or shakti. You can say whatever you want to say. But
Yeah.
the word is used prakriti or the nature. So it simply means that the ultimate or the absolute or God as such is beyond para, that is consciousness, apara, that is inanimate or non-consciousness, or jad and chaitanya in Sanskrit. Jada is inanimate, chaitanya is consciousness. So when we say I am consciousness, or I am the sakshi, or I am the observer, that
Still in duality.
it is still duality. That is the fourth state, which is the awareness or the consciousness or Brahma. Beyond that is the absolute. That cannot be defined at all. That can only be experienced as non-duality. So we cannot even say that I experience the ultimate, or I feel the ultimate, or I sense the ultimate, or I know the ultimate. The only word or sentence remains there is I am the ultimate. I am the absolute. It is why we say there is nothing but the absolute. There is nothing but God. There is nothing but the ultimate. But to reach there, the fourth state or the sakshi or the awareness should be there. After that, it just actually happens. For example, if you are skydiving and you are standing exactly on the threshold near the door of the plane, because now you are going to skydive. So who is standing there? Whoever is standing there, that person can see outside the plane or the open sky, and also that person can see inside the plane, because that person is standing on the threshold of the door of the plane. Now, that person can feel, sense the atmosphere outside as well, because he is there or she is there to actually experience. But still, that person is standing on the plane. Now, once that person jumps into the sky, now only he or she can experience how it is in the sky, and no one else. So likewise, one who is a sakshi can feel, can sense, can experience both inside the plane and outside the plane. But once the sakshi dives or becomes or experiences itself as the absolute, that cannot be defined, that cannot be explained at all. That can only be experienced as itself. And I am the absolute. And that is why when you say that aham brahmasmi, or I am that Brahma, I am Brahma, it simply means you are the consciousness. Beyond consciousness, there are no words, there are no speeches, there are no senses, there are no definitions at all. So what would you define? What would you say about? Because there are no attributes. So after that, when Sakshi is into the fourth state, that fourth state also vanishes for the aspirant.
Thank you, Vijay. Very beautiful example. It explains well the Turiya state of skydiving. Thank you. Thank you.
Madhuji, if you want to conclude the session, we can do that. Or if anyone wants to share something.
Right. So thank you once again, Vijayji. I really like the the explanation that you have given to Vindhyaji about skydiving. It's a beautiful, beautiful example, and I'll remember it. And it's all that we have to be aware, and we have to understand that we are that consciousness. And when we experience that, there are no words. It's complete, utter silence. Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much, Vijay.
Thank you.
Thank you for this. So friends, we will all see each other again tomorrow morning. Till then, namaste and enjoy. Bye-bye. Namaste, Vijay.